Hi guys, welcome back to Rutin Podcast. It's your girl Amira.
And I'm Kuya.
So we are back today to talk about personal finance or just money in general.
Yeah.
This is a topic that both myself and Kuya have been getting a lot of feedback and just people reaching out to us over DMs or over WhatsApp to talk about just how we manage our finance. So what we want to do today is share with you at least
our struggles and our learnings and struggles in dealing with money related issues.
Yeah,
I feel that we've come across in the past 30 years.
50 plus.
30 plus years. Yeah.
But also big disclaimer, we are definitely not your finance gurus.
Definitely not.
So we will be sharing some things that have worked for us, but
this is just our experience,
right? More
of what we've learned from the decisions that we've made with, decisions related to money.
As is tradition with Routine Podcast, for every topic, we kind of like to dial it back to our childhood and how we kind of grew up with specific conversations around a particular topic. So it's going to be the same with money. We want to look back at how money has been shaped throughout our years. Was money something that was openly discussed with your family? Obviously, specifically around with your parents, right? They were the one who was the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Was it an open conversation?
I think when I was growing up, I feel like money was discussed to a certain extent only when it's good, when we're financially more stable than my dad because my dad is the only sole provider in our family, so my mom's housewife. So when my dad say he received bonus or he's getting his salary, then he will share all those things, the good.
Did you know how much your dad made?
So when we were younger, I think when I was in my teens, I did know how much he was making.
Like he told you?
Yeah, he told me. He was because he was telling me, he would tell me things because I have a very good relationship with my dad. So he would share things I'm getting a promotion, so my salary is going to be increased by this much, and then my bonus was this much, so we can go on holidays. So that was how I knew how much my dad was making, but I didn't really know if that was a lot or not.
That's so crazy, because when I grew up, I feel like how much. So by the way, I grew up with a single mom. Okay. So there was only one also breadwinner in the family. In this scenario, it was my mother, and it was always taboo knowing how much she make. So, and I always thought everybody grew up like that. You never know how much your parents make because it's something that you shouldn't know and you shouldn't talk about with your friends. It was just very that's how I feel about money. Is that it needs to be hidden. So I'm really surprised. Yeah.
So my dad, I remember sometimes in school you have to fill out certain forms where you need to put in the income, right?
Correct.
So I remember my dad would dial it down. He was like, "Oh, I'm making this much," but then I'll just say
But you know lah.
Yeah, but I know. But I know how much.
Before can we just go back how ridiculous it is that our public school system tells us to go ask your parents how much they make.
Yeah, exactly.
And you need to fill in this form.
Correct.
Because I had to do that as well, and that was the first time I knew how much my mom made. I honestly now don't know whether it's the truth or she dialed it down.
Yeah.
I guess that's what parents do.
Correct.
I didn't know, but that was the first time I know. And the stern thing that she said was, make sure you only tell your teacher this.
Whoa.
And nobody else. And even then, my mom was like, why is your teacher asking this? And then I guess maybe she found out what the form was.
I see.
So different, huh? Actually,
yeah. So did you know if you were rich or poor compared to your peers or your family members?
When I was younger, I guess subconsciously, I did. I went to public school in Damansara Jaya. So the nature of the community, it's like a huge spectrum from different socioeconomic status. So you get the really rich people all the way to the kids of immigrants, Kawasan Setinggan, Kampung Sungai Kayu Ara. And I was friends with multiple different people. And I think one of the first few memories that I have was I would go and play with certain friends' house, and I will remember that their whole house will be as big as my room in my Bandar Utama house. So I think that was a stark difference when I first realized where I was. As an 8-year-old, I sort of maybe not intellectually knew it, but I had a feeling of, okay, I can eat whatever I want compared to like this set of friends, whereas this other set of friends are traveling all over the world going on holidays, and I probably am not able to
Right.
do that with my family. So like, yeah, I as kids,
Yeah.
we definitely sort of can gauge
Subconsciously.
right?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I think for me it was similar as well. It was like I remember like primary school. I know we were average because my house was like single story house,
Mhm.
and then I know that people with like double stories or like bungalows and some media, I guess they're better off. I had that subconscious feeling, and then secondary school we moved into double story house, so I knew we were kind of like doing slightly better financially. Also, with family, when you balik kampung, when it's raya time, like your baju raya or like sometimes cars, because I would hear adults talking about it, like, oh, they got a new car, or they went overseas, or anak dia ni study overseas. And then sometimes they would talk about all these imported snacks which are supposed to be more expensive and more elite. So that kind of helped me condition my mind to thinking that okay, all these things equals to more rich, bougier lifestyle, like going overseas, imported snacks, imported cars. Because I hear a lot of these conversations happening around me, so that I sort of gauge that I'm like in the middle.
I went to so public school, sekolah rendah. I felt like I was more privileged, and then I went to boarding school, KRS, where we get an array of kids of like big businessmen or kids from politicians. So there is a lot more of a distance when I was in secondary school, and I think it did kind of aid into my insecurities. Because I wasn't able to really understand privilege at that time, and why some people act a different way, or some people are a bit nonchalant about paying 100 ringgit for annual dinner, whereas some other people it's really like a big decision. So it used to question why it's
it's like, although it's like it was never really communicated in a clear and concise manner to us that okay, this is where we stand in the social hierarchy, social standing, right? So like, but we just basically gauge based on like conversations that our parents have, or like what the things that our friends talk about when they go. Then we kind of like make all these comparisons in our head, and then we're like, okay, I guess we are here.
Based on that, what were some of the either good or bad habits you think that came out from this?
Comparison. Because we use this to like kind of compare ourselves to our peers and our family members to gauge where we are, right? That was what we did essentially. And that the bad thing that came out of that was the comparing. Because then I'm like, okay, if this person is more privileged, then I want to know why are we not as privileged. So obviously human nature, we will always just look to wanting more, and we don't really, at that time I didn't look down to like people who are less privileged. I wasn't considerate enough to think about like how do they live their lives. I want to know how do they live. I was just looking at people trying to go up the ranks, and then just focusing on that. And then another bad thing was the comparing, and then secondly was I felt like like you as well, I was very insecure. Like I didn't have all this fancy stuff that all the richer kids had, and then some of them also had like all this. I think they speak better English. For me, to an extent, I feel like they spoke better English, and they had like fancy lessons like music lah and ballet and all art classes, all those things that I couldn't afford to do. I remember, I think this was during my formative years. This was when I wanted to be rich. I wanted to belong into that class, that
group. I get what you're saying, because I did participate a lot in dance, music, all that, and I actually wanted more. I wanted more classes. I wanted to do more things, and I felt not having money. When I say not having money, my mom lah, not having money, right? I memang tak ada duit. So I felt that not having money was a handicap for me to go and reach for the stars. When I was a kid, I had a lot of dreams, and I felt that I just didn't have the flexibility to do it because we didn't have the money to do it.
Did you ever ask your parents? Like ask your mom?
Yes. I mean, what I asked for?
Like why can't I go for classes? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that?
No, I don't think so. I asked her, but to be fair, I had, in that sense, a very blessed childhood. I think my mom, at any position where she is able to provide me with those classes, she does, and she's one of those moms who, like, if my kid wants to do anything, I'm gonna try my very best to make that happen. But of course, there's a limit, lah. There's only that capability, and I wanted to go
Right.
dream big.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to travel because I want to be a big star. I want to dance. I want to study in London for ballet. All that was pipe dreams at that time
Mm-hmm.
because of our financial situation. I wasn't like poor.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
It's just I was not.
You just wanted more.
I wasn't able to spend like
Correct.
a semester in London.
Correct.
doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's just
Because I think and why we just wanted more because also of our surroundings. We saw people who had more and the opportunities that more money brought them, right?
right.
To an
Yeah,
extent. That was why we know that. Because I think if we were living in an area where everyone's the same and everyone's like spending kind of similar patterns, had similar spending patterns to your family, then there will be no more because everyone is going, says you're going to one class a week. Everyone's doing just one class a
yeah.
week. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like also the comparison, I mean, where you grow up, your upbringing, and the people surrounding you also kind of affects subconsciously. At that time, we didn't know it was affecting us, but it does.
Yeah, it
affects
does.
that. I mean, when you balik kampung, you see that how people live there, and then compare it to your, home. So
Yeah.
to an extent, all these things kind of contribute to how we think about money as well.
Mhm.
So, like growing up, what are your good or bad habits related to money? You think?
I think the history of how I knew about money, aka what I said just now, we just don't talk about it. It's a taboo thing, shaped how I feel about money and wealth in my, I want to say, adult years. So how I saw about money, because it was not something that we talk about in the dining table, on the dining table, I had this weird like feeling that money will just come.
Okay.
And I will just work and then money come and then I will figure out how to, there's no such thing as managing money. Money come, money spend. Money come, money spend. And it wasn't until much later in my late 20s that I saw my lifestyle and this was just not sustainable. I had different bouts of like credit card issues. When I say credit card issues, I max my credit card.
Me too, girl.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that was because I just never really thought analytically about money. When I first earned money puts in and I just spend, right?
Same.
As much as if there's a balance in my
Savings.
in my bank in my bank account, then that's money for me to spend.
Right.
And I used to remember looking at my friends who will always say, "Oh, I'm tapping into my savings. We're going on this big holiday. It's gonna cost, I don't know, some crazy amount, 15,000." And at that point, when I first started working, of course I couldn't afford it. And my friends would be, I with my salary I can afford it as well, but I'm gonna tap into my savings. And I'm like, but how much is your savings? And I just never realized that people had savings and like significant amount of savings. And when people are now saying your savings should be able to sustain you for like 6 months or a year, how did people get to that? I just was, and these are friends who were the same age as me at that time, maybe were 23, 24, and just started work. So I'm just like baffled. I'm sure when I first started work, my salary was 2,500 ringgit. Right?
Yeah.
To some it might seem a lot.
Yeah.
To some not so much. I was not able to save any money from that salary. So it perplexed me that some of my friends is able to do that.
Right.
But that gave me like food for thought.
I see. And when did you start kind of shifting your mindset to like, oh shit, like I need
to have
just
this safety net lah. I start thinking about having a safety net. And
what made you?
So I made a big decision about 3 years into my career at Astro at that time. I am or was an Astro scholar, however you want to look at it. And the nature of most scholarship, if most people are aware of it, you get the scholarship and then you have to serve your bond for a few years with the company. So that's what I did. I had 5 years of bond. I didn't finish. I only did 3 years, and I felt that I got a different offer from a different company, and I felt like I needed to do it, and I wanted to move. So when I did broke my bond, and then for the remainder of 2 years, I was given a 280,000 ringgit.
Damn. 280,000.
280,000 ringgit.
Wow.
How
old were you?
When was that? 2000. I was probably 27.
27,
26, 27. So I wouldn't say, still just not super fresh out of but still quite new.
Still quite new, yeah.
Less than 5 years
Less than
of
5
working.
years.
And when I moved, I didn't even really think about how am I going to pay that 280,000.
Oh.
So I made the decision without having a plan
Right.
to pay back 280,000. My mantra is money will come.
Wow.
But and this is my habit, money in, money spent. So what I thought was, okay, I have to pay this 280,000. So my brain will just remind me that I have this money to pay.
Every
so
month.
when money come in, I will just pay for that
Ah.
first. But when I started the job for the first year, I didn't pay any of that. I got a huge jump in my salary when I moved to this company, and I acted the part. Like I, went for all these holidays that I couldn't afford. That saving that supposedly I was hoping to do. Nope, did not do it. So I think having a bit more money made me a bit more reckless. And then that's when I had the credit card issues, and I was already earning a good amount of salary, but yet I'm still maxing on my credit card. And it came, and then Astro call, and they're like, "Hello, what is the plan?" And I don't know. I guess something in me just shaped up, and Amira, you make this decision, and you need to face the consequences of breaking your bond.
Right.
So I think that was when the seriousness of it, right? Because I owe a company 280,000 ringgit. This is not pocket change. This is not money that will just appear out of nowhere, because apparently that's how I felt, right?
Wow.
So I sat down and made a plan and became better at saving. I think that's
the trigger.
That was the big incident that made me feel that I was not doing well. The first step, of course, is accepting the fact that you are not good at it. I was not good at money. But you learn, you guys.
You learn through the difficult times, I feel, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think for my experience, it was very similar as well. So, like, growing up, like I mentioned just now, I always looked up to people who had more. So, I've always wanted more. But then, when I was 17, my dad lost his job. So it was like a big shock to the whole family. So that was when I applied for scholarships, and then I got a scholarship when I went abroad to study. And then in the UK was when I sort of kind of had to limit my budget as well. Like, I knew that my parents or family were struggling at home, and I had this scholarship, so I just tried my best not to bother them. So I didn't request for any financial help or anything. But the first year was when my dad paid for me, the first year, and then I used my first year results to apply for a scholarship, for JPA scholarship. So the first year was super tough, because I would get kind of like distressing calls from my family, from my mom or my dad, basically, that you have to pay your tuition, it's this much, and then it's so expensive. I think my whole family, they were not used to having less, because when you've had a certain amount and then suddenly you have to cut back, I think everyone,
it's more difficult to go back than go up.
For sure,
yeah.
So then I think there was a lot of resentment in my family members as well, which was sort of difficult for me, like in the first year of uni. That's why I studied like crazy to just make sure that I get the scholarship so that I don't burden my dad. And then I also learned to like kind of I remember at that time people were going on holidays, like summer holidays and everything. So I never had that, because obviously I couldn't ask my dad. So what I did was I worked at a I worked part-time selling at a candy shop during semester break. So
candy shop?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like a sales girl.
Yeah. So like it's called Cyber Candy in London. So like I was working there, and I got like £600. And similar to you, money that I get, I'll spend. So I get £600. £600 go to vacation, and then so then
we never learned how to save, did we?
No. No one taught me that. It's something that you have to save.
But you learn it in school, like tabung. When you have those people like tabung, what's those? They always like menabung itu bagus or something like crazy like that.
Yeah, but it was very vague though. It wasn't like you must do it.
And I think there was never clear like instruction or guidelines or easy ways to save. So it just didn't. I don't know that person anymore. I feel my younger 20s now, it just seems a bit ridiculous for me. But yeah, I just felt at that age, you have money and then you spend.
And that was the first time you actually have money.
That's true.
Right, that was the first time you got money, and then you, especially like us, we grew up around people who had more.
Mhm.
So when we had that money or you had that credit card, it's time to like, it's now,
Now it's
never.
your
Yeah,
turn.
now it's your
Now
turn.
it's your turn to shine. Oh my god,
Spend
yes.
it all. Yeah,
Yes.
like I couldn't afford like 50 ringgit lunches during lunch break, but I would go to like, yeah, like all those salad bars and like, oh, I nak makan salad, then 30 ringgit every day, and then like not even the end of the month, like middle of the month, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I used to be kais pagi
Right.
makan
Yeah,
pagi
for sure.
for the month lah, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
You speak about something else. I think one of my bad habits that I realized is peer pressure.
Oh.
I cannot say no to hanging out, and usually hanging out will involve money. And it's somebody's birthday, so we're all going to go celebrate, and we're going to buy her something, and then we have to buy decorations. And the thought of it is great, of course, right? You're doing this for a friend, but at that time, I knew very well that I cannot afford this. But did I still do it? Yup.
Do you feel embarrassed to kind of tell your friends that you don't have money, or like, guys, I'm just broke, or I'm just...
Yes. And it's definitely just on me, because I'm still friends with some of these people. Well, the person that I'm friends with is also sitting here. Let's be real, our group of friends. Our group of friends, right? We love them, but we did sort of have this kind of like keeping up with the Jones and being out at Changkat and
we do.
So I honestly that time sometimes just cannot afford having 150 ringgit dinner.
Yeah.
And if I could choose, I would not go out. But I couldn't say no, and I didn't have an answer as to why I was not coming.
Right.
Because the fact that saying that I cannot afford it was just not an option. I was just too, is it embarrassed? I don't know what.
Or it's like an ego thing.
Right? Ego, perhaps.
You're gonna boost your ego because maybe you want. I think for me was because I think I don't know why, like I feel like because when I growing up, people always thought that I was okay, like kind of middle class, right? So they had this perception, but nobody really knew that, like, my dad lost his job and then all these things happened. So even when I was in London, I didn't tell people that I was working to go to fund my vacation. I didn't tell people that I was struggling with this issue with my family. So no one really knew that I had any financial... no one really knew that I had any financial issues to an extent where I was just kind of keeping it in and then trying to portray this facade. Which was my fault as well.
But it's crazy, right? Because like you and I were friends back then as well. Like if I have just said something, knowing you now, you would have also, okay lah, babe, I need to go out.
Yes.
Let's just meet up at home. I just wish I said something back then.
Yeah.
And I'm now wondering like how many of my other friends also felt like they had to keep up with this lifestyle that I myself also cannot. Like,
keep up. You can't keep up.
Why are we doing this?
They can't keep up, but we're still doing it.
Yeah, why are we doing this?
And we go into debt. Like I think serious kind of like, I think for you mentioned you had that big turning point when you left Astro.
Yeah, and I had that huge education.
I was similar like you, girl. Like my first salary, I didn't save, and then bonus I would spend, pergi holiday, like spend everything. And then what happened was I was gonna get married, and then I was in securities commission, so the salary there was not as competitive. So what happened was I was 27 and I wanted to get married, right? But I, again, because of expectations and conditioning, I always wanted this like grand wedding because I feel like I'll disappoint people. Like if I don't have this nice wedding, people will think that I'm a loser. Like, people will think this, people will think that. But deep down, I know I don't want a big wedding. I mean, I like maybe a nice dress, but not at a hotel, and like all these things that I don't want. But like I was willing to go out of my way to get it. So what happened was, I told myself that so I remember I was like 26 or something. Yeah, 27 actually. So I told myself, I was still in SC. I got bonus in December. Even though knowing that I was going to get married soon, I got like, I don't know, 25k bonus. And I blew it. I went for 2 vacations and I finished it. And then I was telling myself that, oh, it's okay. You can find more money. You just need to get another job. And then I told myself that like, okay, I'm going to apply to all these companies, MNCs, multinational corporations. What happened was I was going to get engaged end of the year when I was 27 December. So this was in Feb. Jan lah. So then I was applying. I didn't get anything. Even from the last year, I was already applying. I didn't get anything. And then February was when I got a big jump. I finally got a call from PwC, and then I got a big jump. And then I remember just taking it. And then I started in May. And I remember I needed to get the loan by October to pay for my stuff, wedding stuff, the year after, which was in January, I think. Yeah, actually, yeah. So this was when I was like 28, actually. So my wedding was January the next year. So like I started PwC in May, and then you need to get approved, right, to apply for a loan.
loan,
Yeah,
okay.
so I was like, struggling.
Oh, so you need the PwC job to get your
The loan.
approved.
Correct.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, because like I went to some of the banks. Cause I don't know. I was willing to go into debt lah, basically, to fund my
Your
wedding.
wedding.
Yeah. So I know I needed like X amount, and then all of the banks were saying, no, you need to earn this much to get this amount of loan. So I said, okay, I don't have that, so I have to get another job. Then in October, I remember going to the bank and then applying for the loan. It got approved. It was just super easy. And then I remember calling HR at PwC. At that time, I wasn't confirmed yet. It was 6 months probation period. And then the HR was like, it's fine. You can just give our recommendation letter. And finally, I got approved. And then that was good. So I got the loan in October. And guess what? Like, instead of like just not touching that money, I went to Korea.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, guys,
With that money.
I know about this wedding loan, but I did not know she used it to go to Korea.
Yeah, so I used part of the money to go to Korea to just basically one last hurrah for the wedding. Okay, then I did that, and I was like, it's okay, I'll just make up for it. I'll just save more the next month. And then, I did to an extent, and then I basically just used the money. The money was gone by December, basically, because I paid for my dresses and everything, for all my wedding expenses. So by January, after we got married 7 Jan, by January we were like dead broke, because my husband also went into credit card debt, and then so we were broke, and then we moved into our house, which was like completely empty. There was nothing. It wasn't furnished. There was like a fridge because it came with the house, and then one aircon. And I remember we were going to IKEA, and we used the kind of ampao money that we got from our wedding to buy the stuff. And then that was when it kind of hit me, like, okay, so I just finished up, X amount from the loan, and now I have to continue paying installment for the next two years and suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
That was when I realized that, I can't even reap the benefits of getting a pay rise because I was paying this loan, right? I was servicing this loan. So, but I didn't change. I like another big mistake was like, so the first.
Wait, so after you're saying you didn't change after you got married?
No,
okay.
I realized that it was kind of bad. Yeah, I realized that this is bad, queer. Like, it's kind of bad, but like I could still afford to pay the loan and then have some spending money. Of course, I maxed out my credit card too lah.
Okay.
So what I did was so that I would get bonus, right? So every year I was lucky enough to get bonuses at that time. So in July I got my first bonus. So then instead of paying the loan with my bonus money, I went on vacation. I went on my honeymoon to Europe, guys. Like maxed out credit card, hutang, and then be Europe, okay? Because I still wanted to pay I have to go to Europe for my honeymoon. I was such a brat lah. I was now thinking back, and then because I was so focused on what people would think, and I wanted to fit their expectation. Yeah.
I wanna pick up something that you just mentioned. I definitely had it as well, and I think a lot of people do, is whenever you're making this I wouldn't say bad, questionable financial decision, a lot of that rationality comes from future me will deal with it.
Yes.
Future me will get a better job.
Yes.
Future me will save more. So it's that instant gratification. And we know this. It's a problem with our society right now, right?
Yeah.
We are super into now. Get money now. Go holiday now.
Enjoy now.
Yeah. And well, it's great to live in the moment, but if you're doing something now that it's going to affect future you, I think that usually is a red flag.
Yeah, okay.
I think that is when that's something that I learned, because the story about me maxing out my credit card, it's also the same thing. I always say it's okay, I'll buy this now, then next month I just don't spend 100 ringgit of going out. Next month guess where I am? Out.
Sometimes you spend 200 ringgit.
Sometimes 200 ringgit you're gonna say next month.
Yes.
And then you spend 300 ringgit. No, next
That's
month.
the truth.
I mean, I feel very confident that a lot of people who are listening to this will understand this. Future us will deal with it.
Do you use like spending to kind of uplift your mood as well? Like
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's
retail
the
therapy.
Yes.
That's why there's a name for it. It's true.
I was literally at one point addicted to retail therapy. Like after work, stressful, Bizarra,
Yep,
go right, go Sephora, spend. And then I think the other big thing for me was also because I went to my honeymoon, right? And then the following year I was still paying throughout. I never missed a payment. So that I was kind of proud of myself. Like I was like just make the minimum payment. But of course, like money was tight to an extent. Like I could have had more savings and do more, but then I chose that. Okay. And then the following year I got a bonus again in May or June. Instead of I could have used, because I think at that time I was almost gonna finish paying off my loan already. And then but instead of finish paying it off and like I can save on interest, what I did was I bought a Chanel bag.
Okay.
And then, which cost like a bomb.
Okay.
And then I was like, after I bought the bag, I was like, oh, I don't feel anything. I don't feel happy, or I don't feel anything. I remember not feeling much. And then it just stays at home, and then I feel like every time I go out, I'll be like, oh, I just feel so not me sometimes. I feel like I'm showing off something that I'm not. I had that. So that was kind of like my trigger point kind of came slowly also. And then I moved to another job as well. So I got another pay rise. And then I didn't, at that point, I was just spending again, like the retail therapy thing. Like it was when I'm down, spend. I didn't save. Basically, I didn't save until last year. The pandemic actually made me realize that shit, I didn't have insurance. I didn't have health insurance.
Okay.
I didn't I didn't really have much savings. I had like maybe less than 5K here and there. But yeah, I didn't, because I saw that when I read that people were losing their jobs and then all these things were happening, I told myself, shit,
you were not ready for
all
these unexpected things. Yeah.
And I remember at times when like, I would get like into a car accident and then you have to pay, right? Because you don't want to use your insurance. Then it's like, oh fuck, I have to cari 2K.
Yeah. It's
How?
a big dent.
Yeah, and I get really stressed out about it. And then sometimes, of course, you use your credit card again, and then you're like, okay. So I feel like I think what started the savings for me last year was also because I was looking to buy something else. It started off with that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to save to buy this thing. But what happened was when I started saving, I had a small fund.
Feels good.
It feels good. And I was just like, oh, I feel less stressed.
Yeah.
Right? I remember when I had that small fund and then I got into a car accident, I was like, oh, I can pay for it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is how my retail therapy addiction have moved into saving therapy addiction. I don't know, but yeah, when my saving number goes up, I get this sense of accomplishment, yes, but also it's like ooh, and it's like sort of like how I feel when I got a new dress. So yeah, it has changed the way I feel. It's still the same money, right? And I'm still spending it. One is spending it on a dress, another was spending but putting it in an account, a saving account or whatever investment that is still, actually I still own that, but I still get that joy. Maybe it's a function of maturity.
I think so. Also because we've been in deep shit.
Yeah, I think so
right?
too. I think so too. We've been in deep shit that it kind of forced us
to basically get our shit together and learn how to, save.
Yeah. And this whole saving thing, it's easier said than done because it wasn't like a habitual thing that was taught to me, at least.
Same. No one really talked to me. My parents never mentioned saving. Like I think my dad, my family as well, they were big spenders. I have to say they've always been big spenders, and then I think that kind of cascaded down to us as children, and we are all big spenders as well.
Same. I feel like my mom was also not like super lavish expenditure, but because she has money, if she wants something, it doesn't matter how much it costs, that she will get it. And my mom was a successful professional person, so she was very comfortable, especially towards her later years, at the peak of her career. That was when I think my family hit that. I don't think we ever were upper class, but we were very, very close.
No, because upper class in like T20, definitely. If you live in Damansara Jaya and like Bandar Utama, you're definitely T20. Household income more than 10K.
Yeah,
is
but I single parent ma.
Oh,
So
okay,
there is
okay.
that.
There's that.
There's still
Okay.
that. But she still did very well,
Yeah.
and I got like luxury. She
Mm.
when I was living in New York, she could come, and I
Yeah.
would love it because when she comes, we'll go shopping and everything. She foots the bill. But that's what I saw because my mom never like have a plan. Okay, this we are on a holiday. This is how much I can spend shopping with you. We never had that conversation.
Same.
So I only saw her swipe.
Yeah.
Swipe. So guess where I learned to swipe.
I think it's like a very subconscious thing,
Very.
right? And we learn from behaviors. We
Mhm.
look at like, our parents, our family members.
Mhm.
I think another thing that like when I got married, the funny part is like my husband also is not a saver.
It's not.
No.
Okay.
He also started. He has never had a plan. Although his mom and his dad are big savers. I found out later that they're big
So
savers.
how is that different? How did they?
He just went the opposite direction.
Yeah.
There's
so
also
yeah,
that.
I guess
It
it
would-
doesn't mean that just because your parents is one way.
Correct.
That you would, yeah.
It can work out like the opposite direction as well. So for him, he went the other way. Then when we got married, he was also in like he never had a plan like how much must he contribute for like the duit hantaran, for example.
Yeah.
Like he didn't know, like he was like, what the fuck, like I have to pay this much.
Well, I think to be
No.
fair, I have no idea how that works.
Yeah, I think it's like arbitrarily set by the female, but then it's
Mhm.
like that, and then it's like he bought a house. He didn't really think about the furnishing part. No, actually, I didn't think about it too. I was just thinking. I remember after we got married to that day, I was like, oh, so rumah tu macam mana? And then he's like, oh, tak ada furniture. I remember thinking, what?
But
yeah.
it's sweet, don't you think, that at least like he could figure out you rather
Yes.
than you guys figuring out alone.
Yeah, but like the first year was like tough on the marriage because we never had this like I think financial related conversations. Like I think I saw like on TikTok that like there's all these financial gurus giving you like the kind of questions that you want to ask your partner before you get married, which are like super helpful.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that conversation. It was just kind of like, okay, like who's paying for the house and like blah blah blah. And I remember like marriage also taught me a lot about expectations because I had a certain idea about okay what my husband should do, like bagi nafkah, or like I wanted the same lifestyle of like how I was when I was living in Taman Town when my dad was kind of giving me stuff. But then I realized that no, things are different. And then my husband, I would communicate all my wants to him, and then
Were you expecting him to fulfill it?
yes, I was expecting him to
Okay.
fulfill it, and he never says no. And I didn't know that he didn't have the money, so he was going into more debt because he wanted to fulfill like certain expectations, right, of me, and he wanted to be a good husband. I mean, bless him, but and then we realized. I remember after we came back from the honeymoon, we both went to Europe, but both credit card max out. Like, not he has like more credit cards, but like, and then we came back, and then he was losing weight, and he was getting very like he was different. So I said, what's going on? And we got into this big fight, and I asked him what's going on. He said, do you know that I'm in this much debt?
Okay.
And I also was like, that was when I realized that like, okay, you need to compromise. That's a whole another episode about like marriage. But also I think that was when it hit me that shit, we both need to learn about money, like managing money, because both of us didn't know how to like, manage money.
And it is a main cause of problems in relationship. Because people don't talk about it upfront, or even when they're in the marriage, everything is taboo. Speaking about relationships, so I got into a relationship with somebody who is very good at saving. So as you can imagine, we got together before I had this epiphany of changing. So he saw me spending with my credit card. He never said anything. Maybe it was early in the relationship, so he was still trying to be trying to be sweet and stuff. But I think his watchful eyes also puts me in a place of, and he does it very well. I would say, I think we complement each other very well because he kind of questioned me, do I need this? Is it essential? Is there a different place to get it when I want something really, really bad and I have to have it now? He like makes me stop. Whereas because he's so good at saving that he sometimes deprives himself out of certain,
Wow.
I'm like, okay, this coffee is 11 ringgit,
Yeah.
but taste it. Don't you think that it's...
What?
So he has started to also enjoy,
Ah.
he allows certain luxury in his life, and it costs a bit more. But it needs to be a conversation.
Yeah.
I think that's the key
You're
thing.
so lucky, like, to have a partner. I mean, that complements you.
I'm
to an
super
extent.
lucky because I think because he came from a family that was a bit more conservative in money, so he learned that from
Right. Like
from his family, and that helped me because I did not have any of this. He grew up with a father who was very open about finances, very open about budgets, and like how much everybody should be involved in. When he had to go and study, there was like a spreadsheet.
Oh, wow.
My boyfriend, by the way, is an auditor.
Okay.
So you can imagine, right? He likes spreadsheets.
Wow.
And he has helped me with that. It doesn't have, guys. It doesn't have to be a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
You can learn it yourself.
You can learn it yourself. There's so many, YouTubers, TikToks
Yeah.
out there. And to be honest, like a lot of your friends are probably going through certain questionings as well, and like figure it out.
And talk to your friends. I mean, honestly, you need to talk to, if you're in a difficult financial situation, I feel like people don't talk about it to your friends, and then you feel so alone. Then to the point where some people, they borrow from alongs and all those things because you feel that you cannot
ask your friends.
Yeah, and also we don't know how to manage money, right? Like, we always think that like money will come, especially when we're younger. It's like, we will always have jobs.
Yeah.
And then like the pandemic hits, and then, what if you don't have jobs? And
Mm-hmm.
then what if you get sick? What's your backup plan? Then I finally got insurance last year. I got insurance.
Nice, good job.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna commit this, and then I paid off all my credit card debt this year.
Yes.
It feels so good, guys. Trust me, like,
Cha.
I was thinking to myself, but instead of paying my credit card debt, I could buy back with it. And then I was just like, no, girl, get your shit together. This is now or never. Then I was like, I paid the credit card debt, and then now I have no debt. I finished off paying the loan too. So I feel like,
congratulations, babe.
thank you. But I'm building my savings now.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
and you got it. That's why. But you did it first, right? You paid off all your obligations.
Yeah.
And then now you're at a place where you can save your disposable income. What did you wish you knew about finance? Maybe like, in high school. Or maybe like, let's go, not even high school, because, we were kids back then. Maybe we were adults. Let's say like
so
20s.
after graduation, right?
Yeah, in our early 20s, which clearly we are still dumb fucks with money back then. So what did you wish you knew?
I wish I knew that basically the importance of having that emergency fund. I have friends when I was in my 20s. I had friends who were like your friend, your partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who saves.
Mm-hmm.
I would always listen to them talking about savings, insurance, but like, it was just like noise to me. I was just like, why
do you think it's because like you don't know it, so you're scared of even participating in the
Yes,
conversation?
100%.
That's me, yes.
Right? I was just
1,000%.
I don't know it, and then I was just like, why is it making me feeling anxious, and like, I don't want to think about it. I just want to spend my money.
Yeah, correct. I don't want to feel the guilt
Yeah.
of not having insurance.
Yes.
So
like,
let
don't
me
talk
buy
to
my
me.
dress.
Don't talk to me about insurance. I want to go to Zara
Yeah.
now. Yes, and I feel also I needed to go through. I wish like someone would like sit me down and tell me that if you save this much and you invest, I wanted then you can make this amount without doing much. So having like passive income.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that like income needs to be active. You need to work, and then you sell something, then you get. But the whole concept of like passive income was something that I was never made aware of, like investment and then saving money, and also just to learn how to not be too materialistic. I think if someone had sat me down and tell me that, like the things that we're reading now, like that's all these material things won't give you joy and all those things, I feel like I wish someone would tell me that. But I also think that some things you just need to go through it for you to
get. You can tell somebody to do something, but until they actually want to do it, it's going to be difficult to actually get that message across.
Yeah, I wish something bad would have happened to me when I was younger. Yes, earlier when I was younger, so that I would have then realized it sooner, I think. But it's okay. What about you? What
For me, I think it has something to do with how I viewed money when I was younger. I just wish I knew a lot sooner like how money can be not scary, because I always viewed money as scary,
Right.
and that I was gonna have a lack of it. So you gotta make sure you just keep pushing on so that the lack of money is never a reality. So you keep pushing, and I was scared of money, but I want it. So I just go for it without actually like really confronting it. So when I had that huge amount of debt, again, 280,000 ringgit, guys. Like it's
That's
like
good.
what? How many cars can you get
Yeah,
from
exactly.
that?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you can get 5 Myvis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. That is what I was thinking of when I look at the amount of money. So when it was too big, it just got too scary. So I like close my eyes
Okay.
and I ran away. Until like they call and I have to confront, so something bad happened, right? Which is like they were calling me and like, hey, you need to figure this out.
Yeah.
I had some friends and also actually a mentor who's a bit older than me like sat me down and just point blank did something to me that I guess my mother never did. He just asked me, okay, what is your income? And then he like laid out a plan for me. And this was actually my new boss. Remember how I was moving to a different company, right?
yeah.
And that's why I have to pay back that bond. It was the new boss.
Oh,
it was the VP of it who understood that I had to pay, but he still wanted to hire me. And he said, okay, what is the thing? So he helped me figure out a plan, and he made it so doable. That was the key. Like he explained it in such a doable way that I could see, okay, this is where my plan is. If I am able to save, say 5,000 here, 5,000 there, then I will equate amount. It won't happen in a year, clearly, but it will happen. And also I was in a sales job, so I earn commission. So I am in charge of how much money I take home.
Right.
Because I do get commission based on how much sales I make. So that was a great, I think he did it really well because I was
push you.
Yeah, he was my employer and he spoke, you're on a commission base and this is the game. And I had another mentor who was like a different, it was actually my ex-boss in Astro.
Oh, okay.
And he also knew about it and he looked at me and he did the same thing. And so these were like, I guess, older people who I respected.
Yeah.
And they showed me how doable it was.
Right.
If only I was not so scared of money 10 years ago.
Yeah.
All those credit card, all those saying no to my friends about wanting to go out, I think I would have been okay with doing that.
Right.
But now, again, I feel in control because money doesn't scare me anymore. Even if I don't have enough, yeah, it'll be bad.
Yeah.
But it doesn't scare me. I'll figure out a way to get it. But I'm not afraid of it anymore.
Wow.
That, I think.
I'm still scared of that. I still, because I'm currently I'm taking a career break. So I think also like I was able to take this career break because of what happened in the past where I made the decision to. So I basically this decision to take a career break happened like a year plus ago. So I planned for it. Like I told myself I was gonna finish paying off my loan by X date, and then I'm gonna save my money this amount, and then I was able to build like a nest basically for myself for a few months. But I feel like it's been 1 month only, but I feel like I do get that anxiety of like, oh, like, yeah, so what if the money runs out? And then I know that I could get a job and then it'll be fine, but I think I still have the anxiety like when it comes to money. And also my retail addiction. So what I did with my clothing addiction, I had this retail addiction. So what I did was I stopped buying fast fashion. So that was a big one. So I'll buy like one quality piece, maybe one top a month or something like that. And then I'm curating my closet, so it's more capsule,
which I absolutely love. By the way, your clothing, wardrobe, style, everything is 100.
Thank you. So I feel like I'm learning about sustainable fashion. So I realized
which saves you money actually in the long run.
I feel like learning about how to curb your habits, like sustainable fashion, those things, and then like learning about passive income or investing. I haven't invested much point, just like like I haven't.
Me either. I'm not. I think in the journey of money right now where I am, at least now where I'm thinking, first you save money and then once you have a pot, then you invest. For sure. And then that's what you can do in your retirement, like passive income. So I think I have done the saving part well. The investing part, I'm still question mark. I'm learning, just like you. I'm also on a career break.
Yep.
And the reason why I can be on this career break was because I have a pool of savings that by the way, is accidental. And I'll let you know. And this could be one of the good habits, I guess, that I could share with the people out there. So I earn a specific amount of money every month.
Okay.
There was a point in time when about 60% of my take-home salary goes towards paying off
Oh wow.
the loan,
Loan.
the 200.
Yeah, the astro loan.
the big ass loan. It was a big chunk, but I think I was very aggressive about wanting to pay it off in the shortest amount of time. And I look back at my finances and I'm like, okay, I can survive with this amount. So whatever else that I make, it goes straight to paying it off. And so I did. I managed to pay off the loan. I think it took me about 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
And then when I finished the loan, so now my take home is a lot more, right? Because I didn't have.
Yeah.
But what did happen is that I did not change my lifestyle.
Nice. Okay.
So I didn't change my lifestyle, so my spending did not go up, but my salary is still that. So now 60% of that goes into savings. But I actually didn't even think about it because
you're so used to.
I was just doing my thing. I didn't have to pay the loan anymore, but I was just still doing my thing, and I didn't really feel. I think because I was so strict for that 3-4 years that I have been able to curb like all other desires and wants and needs, perhaps. So when that was one thing that I realized, also seeing across my peer groups, is that people upgrade their lifestyle. As their salary upgrades, which is fine, by the way, it is fine. But my recommendation, if your salary upgrades by 50%, upgrade your lifestyle by 20%. Or not don't go hand in hand.
I was like, my salary hike 30%, my lifestyle upgrade 100%. Legit, girl. Except for my car, I didn't change my car. It's been like,
because your cars probably didn't matter to you. And I think this is the thing about spending, is that people say, oh, you spend so much in your car, how do you know about money, you have this expensive car. Maybe cars is your thing. So do you go, right? If that brings you, if buying retail gives you that joy, do that. But you were saying do it in a more sustainable way, which was buying more quality stuff that lasts longer. So there are better ways to upgrade your life, right? And this is when I think comes the thinking and the more knowledge, and planning, and don't be scared about money.
Exactly. And I think to add to that is also like experience and who you surround yourself with. I think what also kind of hit me was because of the pandemic, I realized I was exposed to a few people who lost their jobs, right? So I could see what happened to them.
That scared the shit
out of me, and I was just like, fuck.
That woke you up, right? Stuff like that woke you up.
Right? Or like, so I saw a friend who got sick because he's young, he's only 28, who got sick, who has no insurance, had to go to surgery, 50K surgery, no insurance. Who's going to pay? Company's not covering. So who's going to pay for you? Like, you're going to take up a loan. So immediately after I read something like that, that was when I bought an insurance. I think I read that online, and I was like, the next day I was like, okay, I need to get insurance. And I got my insurance like immediately, because I feel like if maybe your group of friends are all like living this, I don't know, cushy lifestyle ever, then it's very difficult for you to stop spending. Right? It's very difficult because you're trying to keep up with them and like, trying to put on this facade. But I think if you surround yourself with like people from different backgrounds, different experiences to you, that's how like you and I also, that's how you learn the most, because it's like you met your boyfriend who was different experience, different upbringing,
different habits.
That's how you learn, right? I feel like also try to go outside of like what someone would tell me, because I was someone who's very scared of like meeting people from different backgrounds or like different experiences, right? So I feel like, okay, this is like the kind of people that I'll get along with, I'll just stick with them. And I'm also an introvert, so I don't like to meet new people in general. So I feel like, I think through my job, I get to meet different people from different backgrounds. That also helped. And then when I was in Shopee, like all these younger kids, they were talking to me about investing. And I was like, the fuck, you're only 21, you're already investing?
Girl, I'm telling you, they are woke as fuck. They're like youngsters.
I was like, I have no investment. They were talking to me about like stash away, like what's the risk? And I was just like, they were sitting next to me, I was just like, they're like, Kuya, do you invest? So what portfolio? And I was like, what? I know nothing. That was why I looked into like stash away and all these things, because I was like, okay, like if they can do it, so can I. So I think just like if you want to, there's a lot of like platform out there that you can Yeah, but you need to want to.
Yeah, you like strike a chord with me because the word investing and stocks or putting money in whatever market, like that scares the shit out of me. Like how talking about money used to scare me a few years ago. But I feel like this is the time for me. I am now comfortably in this place where I need to like learn about this too.
Right, yeah. We can learn together. Like right? Like I feel like if you're scared, like we'll start with like a small amount, like 500 ringgit, right? So like I think recently my husband and I was telling Isan, my husband, said, B, we need to look at all these kids.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? Maybe we should get stashed away in our podcast.
Oh my god, yes,
like, talk about it, right?
So we talked about your past, where you are now, and then where do you see yourself? Like what's your current financial goal, and like do you still kind of, you said you used to compare, you used to want more.
Yeah.
Where are you on that?
Okay. I thought about this question a little bit before coming on this podcast because I am just in a weird transition where I have decided to take not just a pause but really redirecting my career. I did very well. I did very well in this career that I had, and I was earning a good chunk of money. And if I stay on this path, I feel like
loaded.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be shy to admit that I feel like I will hit that T20, whatever you call it.
You are lah.
Not right now, but I feel that I will be in that position. Once I have a family and all, we will be that kind of family. It was easy for me to start working and getting this money because I had to pay my loan, and then once that motivation has fallen, and then I have changed my retail therapy is not as intense as it used to be. I still have it, but it's a different monster now. So all that has changed, and then I got all this money. That's why my savings was accidental.
Right.
It just stood there, and then I remember, okay, Amira, how much is enough for you? How rich do you want to be? I feel nobody really asked that question. How rich do you want to be? What does that look like to you? So I had a few months to think about it and asking myself what is going to be enough for me. I have my own answers for it in terms, I'm now no kids, so I think that's why I have a different view of how much I should earn. And I realized that I don't really want to be in that 1%.
Yeah.
And I don't that lifestyle don't that's not who I want. That's not where I want to be anymore. Of course, if I have that amount of money, then great. Sure. Yeah. But the intersection also happens because I was unhappy with my job, so I couldn't find the motivation to like make that amount of money any longer. So that's why I decided to this is not for me, because I started asking questions to myself. How much money do you want, Amira? How much money do you want to make?
Yeah.
And I felt that I still don't know really. I'm not comfortable of what is my goal. So I have like a number. My only thing now is savings.
Right.
I have a pool of savings that I kind of want to grow to a certain number. And you spoke about passive income. So in terms of finance and where I want to be in the future, I want to create a few streams of passive income. Yeah. That girl, I don't want to work anymore. Yeah. I don't want to work 9 to 6.
Yes.
But then still be able to financial. So that is my
goal,
where I see myself
doing. Basically what you're saying is that money is no longer like the main driver in your decisions to an extent. It's that you have
once I reach a certain amount, I don't know what the amount is. Yeah. Perhaps that's where I was before, because I already reached a certain amount.
Right. So you're okay.
I dah macam
It's not your main
it's not
the main thing. I know, because I've met people that money was like their main basically drug lah. It's like, you know how people are addicted to shopping? Some people are just addicted to earning money. It was like basically they want all these material things. That was their goal. Like sending their kids to international school, abroad, having a big house, cars, and all those things. And I think that decision also is because of money, right? So money was your main driver in all your decisions. But I think you, like you said, to an extent,
it would still be a driver. I guess I need to find what my driver is. So I'm just literally just thinking of this. So I just told you that I want to say I have 5 streams of passive income. And for me to get that passive income, I need to have a pot of money to start investing. So maybe that is it's still money motivated, but I want to get to that level. But I don't really, maybe because it doesn't look materialistic, so people think that I'm not after money. I am. Okay. But my manifestation of wealth
is very different.
Is probably different from typically somebody who's
Because actually money, basically what money does, like savings and everything, it's not like it's bad to go after money or anything. If you're into money, good for you, because money doesn't buy happiness, but money buys you freedom.
yes,
Right?
and
Freedom
options,
and options.
choices,
Yeah. It gives you the option to maybe give you happiness.
Mhm.
So it won't give you happiness. It's a means to an end, but it's not the end.
Yes,
right?
you put it so well.
I
Yeah.
feel like where I was before, like I think for me it was more because I was very, I think it was also who I was surrounded with. Like growing up, I saw like all of my friends were richer than me. They all had this bougie lifestyle that I have always wanted. I always craved, like, oh, that's why I wanted the Chanel bag. Some of my closest friends had Chanel bags when they were 18. They got Chanel bags. And I've been deprived of a Chanel bag, I tell myself, since I was 18. So I was like, when I hit 30, I was like, this is it. It's now or never kind of thing, which was so stupid now in hindsight. But I think now, also because our society also taught us to kind of idolize all this top 1%. I put them on a pedestal, like all these like rich people, like I put them on a pedestal, like all the elitists, people living in Bukit Damansara, all those people, I would look at them as like a certain way, that's something I need to aspire to be, like to behave like them. Right? So what shifted for me was that maybe I don't want that anymore. I feel like because what I did was I tried to look into why I wanted to be like them. It was because my ego just wanted to feel more superior lah. Again, with my wedding and everything, I just wanted to feel more superior, because when you have more money, when you drive a big car, when you wear this, when you look like that, you feel superior, right? It comes subconsciously, but you want that hit of superiority.
And money is, like you say, a means to be able to get that superiority.
Yeah. So I think I wanted that status and that superiority, but I feel like it won't give me joy. I feel like because when I look at all these people, because I am friends with them, and I feel like I don't look up to them, or they don't have the values that I want to have. So like I think I was also exposed to like a lot of different things in life, like experiences, and also because I surround myself with different people. Some people chase after experiences, which also requires money, by the way. It doesn't mean you're not materialistic if you chase experience. But I feel like my goal has shifted into what kind of level of class or status. Is more of like I will want money to achieve that peace of mind, just so that I don't have to burden anyone.
Okay.
If I get sick, I have insurance. Okay. If my car breaks down, I have money to cover for that. So I just want money just for that peace of mind, but not like I don't want to be a billionaire, because I feel like yes, and I feel like billionaires also is like the whole, if one person can hoard so much wealth, that's like you're basically a thief.
Yeah,
that's how I view it.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, right. So I feel like.
But I love the way you put it. Like you want money to give you. You want enough money to give you peace of mind.
Yeah.
That's something I never thought about. But yes, actually, I feel the same way at the end. Me with that whole like passive income, just so that I can do nothing. And still be able, if I get sick, if I need money for my car, like still
like the basic, and then. I think I'll be happy.
Last thing that I want before we like wrap it up, for somebody who is maybe not struggling, but is trying to be a bit better with money, what are some of the quick or like doable? Let's focus on doable things you think that work for you.
Okay.
As you are getting better, maybe around savings.
I think number one, don't judge yourself if you're in a difficult situation, because people make mistakes. That's how you learn from it. So I think accept your situation. What worked for me was just to have, even if it's like 100 ringgit, 50 ringgit, that's good enough.
Savings, right?
Or even use cash. Like for me, what helped also was like, say I withdraw like 100 ringgit, then I'll just put 50 bucks in my drawer. So I have like, and then suddenly like after 2-3 months, I'll be like, hey, I have 200 here. Then I'll put that into my savings account. Or like, I also I keep a separate bank account. Yeah, so like so every time I get my salary, then I'll pay all my bills, and I'll also park a certain amount into that account. And I also try not to log into that account a lot. So then I
You
forget
don't
the
see
password
the money.
and I don't
Oh,
see
you
it.
forgot the password. I
Yeah.
don't know whether you.
I'll just like deliberately tell myself to forget, so that it makes it harder for me to.
For you, okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
For me, similar juga. I think it's like the same idea lah. Don't look at the money. If you don't see the money, then you will like don't think that you have it.
Yeah.
As a lot of the thing, even when we were talking about nutrition and how I lost weight, even with my money, the first thing I did was track all my expenses. And the thing about tracking, and I'm saying track my expenses, like I literally for maybe 6 months track every single cent
How?
that came out of my
You look at your
wallet.
bank statement.
It was a function of bank statements. I didn't like using cash because cash doesn't
Oh.
doesn't have a record, right?
Right.
So I did, most of it would be bank transaction, but I use an app. So as and when it's happening, I straight away log it in.
Oh.
And again, do it without any judgment.
Right.
And just because you really want to see where all your money. Have you had this feeling maybe last time? You have no money and you're like, what did I spend my money on?
Girl, you know what? I actually thought someone curi money from my bank account.
Because it's so little.
Yeah. This is impossible.
Been there. I'm like, I tak dapat gaji ke last week.
I was like, don't silap masuk amount. Terkurang ni.
And then when you found out, oh no, I bought that shoes. You're like, oh right, that's where the money went. So that was the biggest thing, was I just started recording everything and started seeing where all my money went.
Right.
And the first thing I saw was I did spend a lot on my friend. That was the biggest expenditure that I had, and that was where all my money was going.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out, and when I say spending with friends, it's like it's their birthday, so I buy them something, or maybe their mother died, so I went, or we are going out, we go on a staycation because it's like his birthday.
Right.
So all this expenditure, when you look at it one time, oh, it's a really good friend of mine, and I can afford it, so let's do it. But it was a big chunk of my expense, and I questioned myself, well, would my friends think less of me? Because I'm doing this for them, right?
Yeah.
Would they think less of me if I spend 20 ringgit on their gift as opposed to 150 ringgit? If that person was a good friend, just like how I would look at somebody else, it wouldn't have mattered. You don't even have to buy me a gift.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about my friends, right?
Yeah.
Tapi I felt like I had to buy stuff for my friends. I had to go out and take them out and belanja makan.
That was your expectation of yourself.
Yes, 1000% it was mine. So that was the first thing I tackled. But how did I find that out? Was through tracking my expenses first. So it sounds tedious, but I think will be surprised about what you find out.
Yeah.
Just like do it for a couple months, just to really see, the question. Now, I have no question about where is my money. Where did I spend my money? I know exactly where I spent my money.
Okay.
So that first is that realization. And then I use this app where I give myself a budget every month.
Okay.
So I did the experiment first, so I know roughly how much I should be spending.
Right.
And then I gave myself a budget. And mind you, my budget also include luxury.
Okay.
Because I wanted to give myself. If I felt like I want to buy a 150 ringgit face cream, then it's my money.
Right.
I will do it.
Okay.
But I already have a budget, say like 500 ringgit for luxury in a month, whatever that money is lah. So I allow certain allowances, but I had a budget.
Yeah.
And so once we have the budget, I actually don't even look at my bank account.
Oh.
So I don't know how much I have in my bank account. I only look at the app. The app say I have a 3,000 ringgit budget for this month.
Okay.
So I only, every time I log in in the app, right?
Yeah.
So if I've already spent 2,500 ringgit for that month, even if my bank account has like, I don't know, whatever amount, I still feel I'm poor. Because I have 500 ringgit
Oh my god, I need this.
So it's a mind game that I have created on myself, was by not looking at the money. So that's why it was an accidental savings. Because I didn't change my budget.
Wow.
Then that's why I could ask the question, Amira, what is enough for you? And then it hit so damn real for me that I did not need enough. I did not need a lot. So I am earning like this amount of salary, like killing myself working. I don't need that much actually.
To be happy, content.
To have everything I need.
Yeah.
To, again, mind you, I'm a single woman, so I don't have kids.
Yeah.
Different.
Of course, when you have kids, it's like
so it's a different game. Maybe I'll change my mind once I have a family. But right now, I am comfortable with this. So when I took my career break, I know exactly how much money I needed to sustain for a particular amount of time. So it all came from the first few months of tracking my expense and all the
Right.
lessons that came out of.
How do you stick to your budget? Like, okay, say you say like 3K. How do you? Because for me, I think the problem will be like, okay, I have 3K, but okay lah. So like, say I know I have an X amount in my bank account. How do you stop yourself from going into your bank account?
So but I have to record. So say I have 500 ringgit left in my budget, and I wanted to buy something that's 750 ringgit. Maybe it's just me, but even if I buy that thing, it's okay. It's my money. Pun I made a decision. I have to pay 750 ringgit. Then the app will show red color.
Okay.
There is something about that fucks with my brain. Maybe I'm a competitive person, so that's why.
But even I get triggered when I see that red.
Correct.
Thing. Yeah.
And again, I'm not looking at how much money I have in my bank.
It's just your budget.
I'm only looking at that 500 ringgit. So if that thing is 750 and I only have 500 ringgit, then I'll make the decision of actually this month I cannot afford this lah. So it's like on the 25th right now. I only have 6 more days. So why don't I wait 6 more days and then I make the purchase? So my second tip that I really, if you have a big purchase item, sleep on it.
How long?
For me, I will wait for the next month. If next month I still want it, more often than not, then I'll get it. But usually by next month, I am obsessing about some other thing.
That's true.
And you can like assess it. If after 30 days you still feel like you need to think about it, then assess it again. But I said a month because I have that monthly budget. So I try, because if I decide not to buy this, then I have the liberty to buy something else. So that is the reward that I tell myself for not buying this. I'll be like, but if I don't spend this, that means I have the liberty of
some future purchases.
Yes, some future purchases. So maybe like delayed gratification. That's like what.
How do you stop yourself from being addicted to that instant gratification that comes with you? Remember last time you were saying that you wanted that hit.
Yeah.
How do you?
So but I sit down like after maybe like 2 hours. And then
the hit kind of like
bleh.
For me, I realized since the pandemic, I've been buying a lot of things online. The hit comes when I buy the thing online.
Anyway, it comes.
When it comes, like, oh, okay.
I thought I would be so much more excited for this. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. When I had like really bad retail therapy, I had a bunch of clothes that I never even wore. It's just sitting with its tags.
Right.
Still there because I'm waiting for that opportunity.
Yes, waiting to
that event, that birthday party, that nice shoes that I'm gonna get next month. I will go with that dress, girl.
Oh my god!
Then
once you get dressed, you need shoes to go with that dress. Then you need
accessories,
makeup.
It just never ends.
And then that's the thing. Like with another thing is like capitalism, right? It's also the whole society like we'll do a separate episode about this, but I think it's also about why you're feeling the need. I think a lot of the times when I ask myself like I want to buy this, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, it's because I wanted to portray a certain kind of image of myself. Like I feel like for example the Chanel bag, I bought it because it was something that I've always wanted since I was 18, because everyone else had, like my friends had it and I wanted it, and then I felt like I was lesser than them for the 10 years or whatever. And then once I got it didn't give me that feeling, that gratification that I thought I would get. Then it made me realize every time I look at the bag till today, I'm just like, you stupid bitch.
Then it was a negative.
Yes. I guess like sometimes we learn through mistake. Getting into credit card debt, taking personal loans to fund your wedding, and like all these decisions. And if you don't go through it, then you'll never learn.
I think we are a huge proponent about being kind to ourselves, and it's a journey.
Yeah.
Money actually is emotional. Like how people eat, food can be emotional.
Yeah.
Money is also very emotional. And being kind to yourself for all the mistakes that you've made.
Yeah.
And all the purchases that you think were bad ideas, or it happened.
Yeah.
We both learned from it. There is a story, but focus on what you can do next.
Yeah.
It's never going to be too late for you to start making better decisions about money.
In this society that we live in, that's like very capitalistic, materialistic, focusing on status and all of that, it's only natural for humans to to make all these reckless decisions to fill this void, or like to fulfill certain expectations. So the society itself is built or structured to make you
vulnerable towards like the influence of money.
So I
take control of yourself. Take control of your power over your own money.
Like you mentioned, we were scared and also embarrassed. I think if you're kinder to yourself, then you won't be embarrassed. I feel like that is like the biggest. I think when you're embarrassed, then you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to think about it, then you hide.
Yeah.
Then you're like living in this anxiety. Then you wonder, oh, why do I have anxiety?
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Don't be afraid of money.
Yeah.
And don't be embarrassed.
I think that's a good one for us to end. It's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to be embarrassed about money.
Yeah.
Because money is also part of how we feel about ourselves.
Correct. It's a reflection.
It's a reflection, right, and how we feel.
Sometimes if you're too shy to like talk about it with your family or friends, there's always the internet people, right? Like people on the internet.
Yeah, we are the people of the internet. Anyway.
Yeah, reach out to us also.
But we will also, I would absolutely also love to hear what are some of your experiences around either struggles with money or success stories with money, especially like in your 20s, you know. Yeah. Because that I feel is like the period of time where you have money but you're so confused about it. But it's an interesting topic, and it's not just topic that's for fluff, because it could really change your life. Money can change your life.
Money can change your life,
for the better or for the worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is it. Thank you for joining us, guys. We hope that our ramblings make some sense to you. Yeah, that's it. Till the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.